family and friends. The story begins long ago when the world and the gods were very young, and two tribes decided to bury the hatchet and make peace. Because both opposing families, Aesir and Vanir, had skills to bring to the table, so assimilation through assets was preferable. Some of us are better at farming, hunting, and agriculture, as were the elder tribe of Vanaheim, and some more cut for post-Bronze Age necessities. Killing and war inevitably lead us to the Aesir. Peace, both families agreed, though elusive and rare, will always be the best policy. So the Great War ended between the Asses and the Wains. They met to council, drafting their bylaws, as we still do in our kindred, revaluing some customs and setting some old traditions aside. They exchanged hostages, which by today's thinking were more like ambassadors to live and counsel with the other side, often set in high position. So when this very first all thing reached its end, both tribes, now one unified family, chewed berries and spat into a cauldron. They all spat the juice into this great cauldron, and from this, the Vanir tribe began to show Sather to the Aesir. And the Aesir used this and breathed life into a beautiful new being, shaped in theirs and our own image. As repulsive as this may sound, it is not historically unfounded. In Indo-European cultures, there are similar myths and themes. The tradition still barely survives, with spitting in one's hand to seal a deal. So the origin of this unique being we hail tonight is mysterious in ways and assured in others. Of his godly wisdom, there's no doubt. We are certain of his benevolence and willingness to share his knowledge with any and all inquiring minds. But like the good and lovely god Balder, there's ultimately his sacrifice. Good kindred, you may have noticed the absence of our carved image where our usual altar focal point sits. Tonight we have a symbol of our ritual's affections. If you know his name, say it with me now. Kvasir!
Kvasir!
Whatever you were expectorating, this is how he came to be. Kvasir had many of the best qualities of the gods and goddesses, but his wisdom was the sum of them all. There was nothing he didn't know. Not a single question could be asked of him that he could not answer correctly. In time, the Allfather encouraged Kvasir to bestow his gift upon the middle boughs of Yggdrasil, to Midgard's men and women, and to the other races of Svartalfheim and Jotunheim, the dwarves and the Jotuns. So this unique being, crafted by divine desire for peace, did travel and wander the world, enriching all of its peoples, and he became famous. He spoke to hundreds at a time, or gave pause to a single child, all in the same manner of graciousness and endless patience. Kvasir shared his knowledge and insight to all, from kings and jarls to farmers and thralls, lowly slaves and beggars. It did not matter. I'm reasonably sure some of us know folks that are very intelligent, maybe near genius capacity. They can tell you about the stars or the geography and makeup of the earth. They can tell you about the ocean. They have things to say that not only you benefit from hearing, but things that humanity really should hear. Their wisdom feeds their enlightenment, and it just seems as though they have so much to give. But street smarts, maybe not. And so we are forced to see Kvasir was possibly one such being. We cut away to a damp ocean cave just outside of Jormungandr's deep border to Midgard. Two dwarves of a wicked nature, called Fjalar and Galar, whispered and plotted. These are interesting names because in Old Norse they mean deceiver and screamer. They are, as Aritherger points out, cognate for Loki and Odin in this respect. So this is probably not the original myth, but we thank goddamn Snorri for the crumbs anyway. Anyhow, they invited Kvasir to sup fish, bread, and beer with them down in their dark abode. So this godly wanderer arrived at the surf-splashed cave, and after many questions, increased their knowledge. And as the evening aged, the dwarves put their true malevolent nature to work. Much of Havamal reminds us that constant shallowness leads to evil. Galar sung a song while Fjalar did from behind cut Kvasir's throat, and they hastily collected and racked his blood into 3 cauldrons. They mixed his warm red blood with warm water and honey and added yeast. It is said when Odin inquired to Kvasir's whereabouts, Fjalar and Gjallar were interviewed and subsequently released, saying they heard with witnesses that there was no question left unanswered, so Kvasir had unfortunately choked on his own wisdom. So hiding away for eons did the mead of poetry sit. The best batch, the mead of inspiration, thus was the result. They named it Odorir, Odor meaning madness of spirit, and Rir meaning mover and shaker and motivator. The mead of poetry. To sip of it is to know the secrets of the world tree's milky ways, and the songs and tales of our ancestors. It made the ordinary a poet and turned the dullard to a skald. Later this night we will speak more on this magical mead after we've spoken with the High Ones. Now we'll make this place in nature a sacred grove with a hallowing and banishing of ill intent. We call upon the 4 directional wardens begat by Ymir, stationed by the Allfather long ago, in the beginning. Nordri! Helga Vitheta och hindra alla ilska! Austri! Helga Vitheta och hindra alla ilska! Sudri! Helga Vitheta och hindra alla ilska! Vestri! Helga Vitheta och hindra alla ilska! I now make holy to the service of Kvasir this altar and place of sacrifice, banishing from it all influences of any ill intent. May our minds on this consecrated land likewise be consecrated, as is our will to the just service of Kvasir. As our own beloved patron Heimdall guards Bifrost Bridge, may this place also be warded against all forces unharmonious to our purpose here today. Esir! Vanir! Landvetir and ancestors! We call to you this day and ask you to join us in our blood to Kvasir. Child of 2 tribes, answerer of all questions, Kvasir. Wisest of the Vanir, wisest of the Aesir, Kvasir. Product of peace, unifier of enemies, Kvasir. Nature's detective and finder of the outlaw Loki, Kvasir. High One born of intoxication, divine spirit of revelation, Kvasir. We, the descendants of Ask and Embla, the great-great-grandchildren of Rigger, do call out to you. We find you in the remaining clarity and wisdom of an awakening dream, the intoxicating enlightenment of outsmarting a foe or figuring out a long journey's shortcut. We take inspiration from your benevolence of sharing what you know, therefore bettering the world around us and establishing a union from former rivals. We still hear you in the songs of true poets and the words of great authors, casting dialogue which speak to our souls, descriptive yet succinct and to the point. Small talk stinks and is not within you. It was you who listened to the queries of kings as well as thralls. Elders and children equally held your attention. Until your dying breath, you sought to enlighten the world. Kvasir, we invoke you, and we offer you sacrifice. Not of blood, but the sacrifice of our human efforts. With our mead and devotion, may it aid us, humankind and the gods alike, in our struggle against those who would war against us, or seek to encircle and constrain the world tongue and tail for their wills. Kvasir, accept our gifts, not as from thralls, as we are masterless free men and women, nor as a casual appeasement, but as a sign of our communion and our kinship. Kvasir, you have received our sacrifice, symbolized by the mead in this horn. Pour now your blessings into it, making it for us as your blood, a true instrument of inspiration, that we may grow closer to you and to each other by sharing it amongst our kindred. With wisdom and insight, that it may be for us as the water from Mimir's spring was to the All-Father. Take a moment and give some thought. What's the price for wisdom? What would you give for wisdom? May this mead be filled with inspiration, that it may be for us as the mead of poetry, stolen for the good of the gods and humankind. Before you take a draught, take a moment and give some thought. Listen with your mind and hear what the precious mead of inspiration has to tell you. Hail Kvasir!
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 Kvasir.
Hail Kvasir! Hail Kvasir!
Hail Kvasir!
Hail Kvasir.
Hail Kvasir! Hail Kvasir!
Hail Kvasir!
So now our sacrifice is done. May it strengthen us in devotion to the gods and goddesses of our ancestors, and renew in our hearts a determination to live ever thirsty for wisdom in gratitude to Kvasir. May we struggle with all the more resolution to try to learn something from everything that we are faced with or subjected to in our own lives, as we live freely with courage, trusting in our own unique strengths and honoring the bonds of kinship. Kvasir, we have dared seek inspiration that the folk may be enlightened and prepare in times of hardness and strife. So warded may we persevere and witness a coming resurgence in the heavens and in the hearts of our people. We thank you for your presence in our kindred tonight. Be with us and farewell. Now the words have been spoken and offerings have been made from the gods to the earth, to us, from us to the earth to the gods. A gift for a gift. Hail Kvasir!
Hail Kvasir!
Hail Gjallarhorn!
Hail Gjallarhorn!